Alright guys, so here we go. Time to get cracking here with the red as I promised. Couple things I want to bring up first is I let this engine dry for a little while, I'll be honest with you. I took about 45-minute break here. It's 6:22 in the morning and I'm trying to get this engine done to show you at the break of dawn outside in the freezing cold sunlight, to prove my point that you can get it to look the right color by doing it yourself with watercolors and have it exact indoors and outdoors versus whatever the people tell you. And I kind of noticed that when you put two and two together here, everyone didn't really have as many dark spots as it did. So what I did was I took the dark blue that I was using here, let me see, it's B&O, which stands for Baltimore and Ohio, royal blue. I just use that straight up on the body. And first thing I did was I kind of did little pimples with it with the brush. So I just kind of dabbed, boom, 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 boom. Then grabbed the whoops, that's okay. The cotton swab, started pushing that around just a little bit, little tiny bits, even lesser than the third coat I did. Then what I did is I took the brush and kind of flattened it on there when it was very dry and didn't have much to it at all, and just kind of went across like that, and I got more of the dark to come out. I wasn't too satisfied once it dried with what it looked like, and it just goes to prove that you can do just about anything you want. Now this engine right now on the video, I can see it doesn't look the right color, but I adjusted light, whoops, yes it does indeed. So I'm right on the money still, so sorry for that little optical illusion there. Anyway, time to get ready with the red, and what I like to do always is have a picture to work off of. Now this red, you can see in the daylight kind of colors, I'll match it to this guy here. It's about right. We're under the wrong light here. We're under the LED kind of blue light here, so it doesn't look like that, but when it's outside it's pretty darn close. Getting exact is what I'm after, but I tell you, I've already got the decals on and I'm pretty satisfied. I color myself, so there it may not be 100% exact. So let me pause this and get the red paint up. Okay, so once again, starting with just the colors that I have on hand, not going out to the store and trusting them and everything else, and believing in the power of mixing, which you can do so much easier with watercolors. So sorry, oil color guys. I've grabbed this color right here, which is Caboose Red. I'm going to mix that with another color red, and I wish I could tell you what color red was, but when I was opening it the other day, I learned my new trick to getting these out. These open, it kind of shattered in my hands and sent glass right through my finger right there. So what I did was I put it in an old pill bottle and put some saran wrap over it to save it. That way we didn't lose a whole bottle. And as I was kind of bleeding, it all just kind of wasn't bleeding too bad, but it all went into here right out of my hands to save as much red as possible. They're like $3 a bottle or so, and you need so many different colors now, especially if you're into this hobby. It's not cheap. I mean, these guys in today's money, usually about 85 bucks brand new. So anyway, I bought this at $15 in a train show back, what, 96, 95, somewhere around there. But whatever. Ever onward, here we go. Let me get the mixing thing. And we're at the kitchen sink now, and you might be thinking why. Well, the reason why is because this little number here, the red. This is that little trick I was talking about in the first video that I want to show you. What happens if this little cap doesn't want to come off? Well, and don't mind that that's paint on my fingers anyway. What do? You take the vice grips to them? No, what you do, you take your water and you turn it on as hot as possible, and I'll let that warm up. Okay, so I've let it warm up, and this is the trick. You want to wait till you have the steam come up, and you want to take your bottle, you don't want to hold it under like that. What you want to do is hold it under like that. The reason being, because eventually, all that paint that's around that edge, water is going to work its way through. Water is patient, water waits. Water finds its way in everything. And we're going to get it under that lip. I don't see any red paint coming out, but I'm sure it is. That will get this cap undone. You just got to be patient and wait and keep on trying it with a towel over your hands and try not to get your hands too wet while doing yourself either. You want to just keep rotating it underneath. Make sure you get in everywhere. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. Yeah, what was that? About 25-30 seconds, 45 seconds, as you can see. Right up like a charm. That's good stuff right there. That's a good tip. Real good tip. Tip was even better than the faucet, apparently. I can still hear it kind of leaking. I'm going to have to go fix that. Just like we saw before. Not much of a difference. I'm gonna, well, I shouldn't do that over the blue, should I? Because watercolors, they mix. I end up getting like a purple. 1, counting again. 2, don't need much of this. 3, there's that red. Now, let's go to the engine. No, I don't think so. We're not going to the engine. We're not gonna trust it. We're gonna layer this up. My dark red, and I'm just gonna kinda, this is something I should have done before. Mix it over here, that way. Not contaminating my paints and everything. Okay, so what happens when I mix them? Well, let's see. Make sure we get all of this mixed. I'm getting a pretty good kind of crimson color here. Now, I know this crimson color works good because I know it's going to look this color in the daylight. It's gonna, or in the artificial light in the house. It's going to look that outside. So I'm going a little bit darker, and that's okay if you're working in the house, which most of us are. Like I said, it's winter time, and yeah, so I'm going to move these paints onto the floor where I will not knock them over. That's important because it's a wooden floor and I don't feel like sanding it down and all that. Move this off. Pick up the train. Now there's a difference, as you notice on my other engine. This one does not have the red stripe underneath. That one does. Well, cotton belt fans might argue a little bit about that, but they actually did have that on some of them a lot earlier than they did before they did it without them. Anyway, I'm going to use a brush on this. This is going to be a little nerve-wracking for me because this is, yeah, that's my pop can down there. Oops. Next, going to move this over so I don't lean in my paint, and try and orient all this. And pardon me if I don't do this right with the camera 100% all the time. I'm just going to paint that line ever so delicately on there, looking at the tip of my brush at the right elevation. Now this is going to be the tough one, the tough thing, because you want to try and get it all just right. I'm not going to tape it off because taping it off always leaves me a disaster because the paint likes to get underneath it. So good exercise to learn patience too, especially in a non-patient world. Just get out here and do it yourself without all the little things that claim to help you, because in reality, what do? They give you more of a mess to clean up. Rather make a little mess and have the bleed marks everywhere. So just gonna go ahead and put first cover color here on, and that's looking really good. I'm actually very impressed with that. Actually, I want to compare that to the other engine here. That's still wet, so I can't let it fool me. Yeah. I'm liking myself at this point in time, that's for sure. Anyway, not going to put you through it. I'm going to go do the other side.